Hello and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Winona and I'll be playing a Scribble Scrambles today and maybe a few other characters. But more importantly, I am with a wonderful, amazing, talented and great good friend.
Sniped once again. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Whis. I'm playing Celeste Alamos today. And that's it. I'm not playing anyone else. It's just her.
Oh, oh, yes. It is time. The castle is done.
Yes! It's only been a year.
Look, it takes a year. Look, even with Toon Magic, it takes a year to get a big castle like this.
I mean, that's completely fair. Like, in the 12th century, it took, 25 years to build a castle. So, reducing that down to a single 12-month period is pretty dang good.
Yeah, but it also helps when your workforce is, say, automatons who don't need to sleep or eat.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, the only thing holding them back that point is the weather. And thankfully, the weather has been pretty good for their little stretch of the land. Which which is good. See, which is their land. Scribbles owns land. He has the deed in their name. He knows how this works. He needs to make sure he has the deed, otherwise someone will try to steal it. We know the tropes.
Yes, those are in fact the tropes.
But yes, we say it's not too long after say it's done that they get a call. Say they get a message from say Jewel, who is like, "Well, your castle's done, kid. Say come talk to me whenever you guys actually want to tour the place." And Scribble's like, "Yes, this is amazing. All right." And since Marigold and Scratch can't be here right away, they are exploring Inkwell right now. They gotten the message that their home is done, but at the same time, it's gonna take a little. It's gonna take a little bit before they're actually here. So it's time for so the parents can have their fun with the house.
You could have phrased that better.
Look, we have fun here.
Jesus. Yeah. Yes, so Celeste is super keen to see the castle. Privately, and she probably wouldn't have mentioned this to Scribbles at all, but privately she does think it's kind of hilarious that she is now going to be living in a castle. Given as everybody involved in the Pokemani plotline continually referred to her as a princess.
No, it doesn't get past me as the player.
So she's just like, there is a certain irony about this. However,
There is indeed a certain irony about this.
oh golly. All right. Well, I imagine that Scribbles and Selli are arriving together.
Yes, they're arriving together. Say the teleportation little station that they have in the middle of nowhere has been built up a bit too. There's a little cover over it, making sure there's no rain on it. Say Stu is still there. He volunteered himself to work the teleportation station because
Ah, good on him.
yeah, he likes having his little job.
Ah, the lad.
Yeah.
Good robot.
But yeah, they get off the station. They walk up to this beautiful castle. It's a sandstone, colored walls and everything, looking out into the ocean. Different towers that poke up into, say, around the castle that there is technically a wall around the castle, but it's invisible because, hey, magic.
Yes, absolutely. And this castle is, even though it wouldn't have been how it was done in the real world and in historical when we were actually building castles, this is bare stonework, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not been rendered.
Hmm.
But that's because we like the aesthetic.
We love the aesthetic here. Yeah, Scribble's just like walking up and he's like, gosh, I can't believe it already.
It is rather remarkable how fast automatons can work. But I suppose that's part of why Jewel uses them. They're very efficient.
Yeah, I agree. They are very efficient. And especially when you're a skilled mechanist of your own, you can literally have a whole small army to do and or build what you want.
Hmm. Seems quite freeing, really.
Yeah, I agree there. Too bad the kids can't be here right away to see it, but at least we can see it, you know?
Well, we'll be able to give them the tour when they are here. As it is, I think this probably works out in our favour.
Yeah, I agree there. I think it does work out in our favor.
But come on, Scribbles, let's not leave Jewel waiting. And
Yes,
she is
yes.
going to actually just grab his hand and start pulling a little bit.
Yeah, and Scribble, like his hair turns yellow and he smiles as he follows her up the trail where Jewel is, let's say, is waiting for them with B and Nigel. They say, took you too long enough. Well, here she is. They say, your castle. Of course, it's empty right now. So, tell me when. Tell me, say when you want to actually make sure, like, you want to, like the robot. Let's say the robots will be able to help you move and everything. Start putting away stuff, but yeah.
And it's absolutely stunning, Jewel.
Just say,
Somehow, it's a lot bigger than I pictured from the diagrams. But I suppose that's just perspective for you.
yeah. Jewel like puffs up proudly. It's like, yeah. I gotta say, I'm very proud of myself with this one. It just feels right, you know? Feels like a home. And of course, you have one end of the castle be more the guest quarters, along with like banquet hall, say formal dining for like guests and everything, along with dancing room, is a also kitchen, like proper like chef's kitchen, and then the other side be family stuff. Smaller kitchen is a smaller like connected dining room, is a guest say bedrooms and everything.
Astounding. Simply astounding. I don't think we could possibly fill it.
You will. Don't worry, kid. It just takes time. Scribbles nods like she does have a point. I say it'll definitely take time, but I think we'll be able to fill it. But don't worry. This but what are you kids waiting for? I say let's go inside. As Jewel like say flicks her tail and say invites them inside.
Sally's got this tiny little bounce. She does this like two little bounces on her feet, and then she's got Scribbles by the hand and she's following Jewel inside.
Yeah, Scribble's just smiling as his hair is all yellow with a mix of a little bit of pink in there as he looks at Selly. Just happy. Just so happy to see his love so happy. And they make it to the entrance with they say entrance hall and everything. Is you can say there are say magic fueled lights that say like say turn on once they enter.
Oh, motion center, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Most of the castle is motion center, though. There's a control panel that I can show you later that say controls the house. Of course, wards are everywhere too, so if you want to block off certain hallways or make sure people don't go in certain areas, say that's all handled.
Mm. Well, that's definitely a good thing. Wouldn't do to have guests wandering into private bedrooms.
Yeah. Give them a little shock.
Mm. Literally, I take it.
Yeah. Sometimes you need it, especially the rowdy ones at parties. But it's also very entertaining to see them shock themselves.
Really not sure what kind of parties you think we would be throwing, Joel.
Nah, I'm just reminiscing on my own heyday. Wait, there was a couple crazy shindigs, and I've definitely learned from them.
Mm. Well, that is the important part, isn't it?
Yeah. But this is the main sort of entrance area. One side is the guest, one side is the home. And where do you want to guys go first?
What do you think, Scribbles? The bedrooms or...
I'm actually more excited to see what the library looks like.
She kind of glows a little bit, like literally she's glowing again. It's like, oh yes, what a fantastic idea.
Alright, library it is. Come on. As Jewel gets on gets on Nigel's shoulder as they walk towards the library. The walls are pretty empty, but there's definitely plenty of room for like different art pieces or setups or everything. A bit bare right now, but you'll get there's plenty of castle's basically blank canvas for whatever you're decorating once is.
Goodness, I'm not quite sure how we would decorate it.
Well, we do have the rest of our lives to figure it out.
That's true, we do.
I think definitely I love the way it looks. Good tall ceilings. Yeah, made sure everything's big and tall for you guys, especially with one of your kids being a centaur. Gotta make sure everything's accessible.
That is true. Marigold is quite tall.
Yeah.
But there are also Toons who are outrageously tall as well, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that we would have tall guests in the house that we wouldn't want to be bumping their heads on the ceiling.
Yeah, bumping them as much. Like, there's only so high you can make the ceiling, but 99% of the guests will be able to walk these halls comfortably.
That's good. That is quite good. And how do you picture the door to the library to be, Nona? Like, I know that I've described the library in a different FPS, but
No.
I kind of just breezed over like the walls and the hall of the hallway rather, leading up to and the door of the library. What are you picturing this to be at?
I sort of see this as a nice hallway. There is a little decoration in there. There are suits of armor lined up against the walls of different body types and everything down the hall.
Right.
Little treat from me. I thought get you started. You don't have to keep them there if you don't wanna, but it feels like from what I've heard from Faber, there's sort of always one hallway that has like lines of suits with armor and weapons.
I see. Well, they are a bit imposing, perhaps not near the library. Are these completely inert or part of the security system, Joel?
Part of the security system. But I made them look like artistic pieces, so guess won't bat an eye at them.
I see. I had suspected it was going to be something like that.
Yeah, I probably went a little bit overboard, but born in a different time where security mattered a lot.
Well, you know what it is that we are dealing with, so security matters now just as much, if not more so.
Mm-hmm. As you guys lead up to the door, it's a nice, beautiful door that, like, full wooden door that has etchings of unbekant symbols on them.
That'll just sort of make Selli perk up, and she gives a small little clap. Oh, there's already, I suppose, well, it is in a way a shrine in of itself, being a library, but oh goodness.
Yeah, Scribble, like, flushes his hair, gets a bit pink. He's like, yeah, that was my idea. With the door and everything, and wait until you get inside.
Did you have any ideas for what the words on the door would say?
Not at this moment.
I have a proposal for you.
Oh, go ahead.
The same text that is over the archway door for the Hall of Origin in Lavender Town.
Ooh, yes.
Which, for anyone who does not recall, is read, learn, remember.
Which is honestly perfect for them.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Do you want to describe what it looks on the inside?
Sure. So the inside of the library, this is a large, round room. So it's going to probably be one of the biggest rooms in the castle, I would say. It's, if not the biggest, because it's just so big. And I think I gave it the same square foot room size as the Toontown Library. So it's pretty dang big.
Oh, yeah.
But it centers around, so it's because it's a round library and it has concentric circles for the bookcases. And the center is where you've got like some tables and chairs and a couple of couches and stuff. That's sort of the reading, studying sort of area, with the rings of bookcases sort of like ripples on water, just sort of radiating out from that center. Obviously there's a splits in them for passageways in between the shelves, and in the opposite the door there is a big stained glass window, which we will draw at some stage.
Yeah.
It's just not done that yet, but we will draw the stained glass window at some stage soon. But yeah, so there's the door, the stained glass window, these rings of bookcases, and in the center on the floor is more unbekant glyphs, specifically in the very, very center. It's like the O unknown glyph, except without that little connecty, like one little connecty line between the I bit and the circle around the outside. Because for an unknown, it makes sense. They all need to be connected. But when you are just drawing something on the floor, it doesn't need to be. So it's just the I bit and then the circle around it as distinct colours from the rest of the floor. And I kind of imagine it's carpeted.
Yeah.
Probably because that we call it quieter than tile or brick flooring.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Or even wood flooring. Like, you could have relatively quiet wood flooring, but at the same time, Marigold's a metal centaur.
Yeah. Carpet would make more sense.
Yes, so we're going for carpet, just so that it doesn't get damaged as easily from Marigold just walking around in here, or for anyone else for that matter. Mm-hmm. But like, in order to make that symbol stand out, I feel like that central bit might be stone or brick, and then the carpet sort of starts from there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it looks like. And then it's got more glyphs on the walls as well, potentially with read, learn, remember, just over and over again, or potentially something else if you got a
Mm-hmm.
different idea.
Hee hee. I say, and we could possibly think of different ideas too. I agree.
We'll workshop that. We'll
Yeah.
workshop that. But yeah, as they come in, it's probably just the right time of day for the sun to be coming through the stained glass window. And while you don't want direct sunlight
Mm-hmm.
coming into where there are books, because that's no bueno. It's the sun is on that side of the castle, so you've got light coming in that way rather than the window being in shadow from the sun being on the other side. So there's never any direct light through the stained glass, but there is some stained glass, like light coming through the stained glass.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be lit up, glowing, pretty. And Selli is also a source of light at this stage. You could read by the light she is emitting right now. She is just sort of looking at it, and she's got both hands on her face as if she were covering her mouth in joy, and like, I'm going to roll her a deception at disadvantage. 1 second. Yeah, okay. What's your deception, Selli? Oh, thank you, DMV, for logging me out. I love that. Well done. do, 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 do. Please stand by. Log me back in, please. Selli is at the top because I've got her name spelled correctly. Okay. So, that's right, because you're a politician, so you've got a high deception modifier, so that's still a 13.
Fair. Let's see what Scribbles does on an insight.
It's more a perception, not a perception for this one.
Perception. Fair enough.
Mm.
That's only a 10.
Well, actually, you know what? If I want you to contest with perception, then it needs to be a stealth. In which case, it's a 5. So you're fine. You're thinking about it. But yeah. So Scribbles, you've never heard a noise like this from your fiance before. It's kind of. It's a little bit high-pitched. It's very soft. So it's just as soft as Selli is normally soft-spoken, but it is distinctly a small, little, excited sort of kind of noise. Like, she could not possibly be more excited, and she is also, like, very bright to look at. Like, not quite hurtingly, but distinctly very, very bright right now.
Yeah, Scribble's hair is all yellow. He is so happy as he looks at, say, his fiance. Just so happy that she's happy, and he's just like squinting a little bit because of her brightness. He is let's see, roll hammer space. Yeah, he has the sunglasses in his hands, but he isn't putting them on just yet.
There may yet be more to come. We're not quite sure yet.
Exactly. You outdid yourself, Jewel. This is absolutely beautiful. Well, I knew that this part of the castle meant the most to you two, so I made sure to put all the details in here.
It's astounding. I've never seen a library so beautiful.
Yeah, wanted to make sure we did this right, especially when you're partially memorializing a god too.
Well, that's true. I mean, libraries are his sacred places. Oh, he'd be absolutely thrilled with this one.
Yeah, it'll take you, I'll blend some books from my own study too in here. You guys got plenty of room, and look, these books have been, they stuffed up for a very long time. They need to be read and at least start them out in here.
That's very kind of you, Jewel. With the limitations of our current department, there's no way we could have anywhere near the number of books that would even remotely fill a quarter of this. It's amazing.
Yeah, I barely like the shelves are so big. It's like I'm not even sure if we can even. Maybe we could fit like one shelf or two. Maybe roughly.
They're so tall.
Yeah.
Tell me you've got library ladders set up already.
You think me a fool? You think I
You
would
can
not
fly,
have the
Joel.
Of course, there's library ladders.
Just checking, because not everyone can fly like you, and not everyone has mage hand. So.
Oh yeah. Say, don't worry. And I got different types of sort of ladder stuff. I got some that are just like regular ladders you can pick around, and there's like floating discs basically that make as a semi elevator.
Oh, well, that is impressive.
Yeah, centaurs don't do well with ladders for the most part, so try to
That
be
is a good
reasonable.
point. That's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to move our books in.
Yeah,
How wonderful.
I say, where do we even start? How do we even start organizing this? It's just.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
And we can put some tables in the center and some comfortable couches and things for reading on. Oh, I can definitely see myself spending an awful lot of time here.
We'll spend a lot of time here. Scribble smiles as he goes to hold her hand and gives her a nuzzle.
Oh my. And all of the glyphs are all correct and everything.
Yeah, I made sure to run it by as a Scribble and everything. Since he knows knows this language way well, he's a scribes wizard. He should know languages really good, and he did really good at this one. That's all on your husband.
We're not married just yet.
You guys practically are. How long has it been?
Oh, quite a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just so much has happened. Let's say.
I'm sure we'll be able to have it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Once things calm down.
Yeah.
Feels like a little bit too soon to start celebrating anything with everything happening in University City.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But at least for right now, as he gives her hand a little squeeze, let's enjoy this moment.
I'm enjoying it very much.
And also for you, Scribbles, the entrance to your wizard's tower is right over there. As there is like a roundish portion of it looks like an elevator in itself in the library.
Oh, I tell you what if around the outside edge, there was a couple of little reading nooks.
Ooh,
And
yes.
one of those, and they were kind that you could have some little doors so that you can have them shut. So if you needed to have private conversations or really needed to focus on study or something, so you got these little study nooks. But one of those study nooks has the elevator to Scribbles' tower.
Yeah, and there's a lock. It's the only room with a formal lock. So Scribbles the only one who can get into his tower and or his family.
Wizards need more than just a study nook. They need a tower with a whole classroom.
Yes.
Oh, Selli is going to be kind of nudging Scribbles towards that door. Go on, go and see.
Yeah, and Scribbles goes over and opens the nice door that has his like unbekant symbol on it. The S is a as he opens as the door reacts to him opening it, and inside is a one of those an elevator that's very reminiscent to the elevators in the Wizards College, where it's a magical one. So it's a round circle, but in the middle there's a button that you can like press on with your foot, and it goes upwards.
Mm, mm, mm. Nice. So yeah, the Wizard's Tower would be on top of the library, which I
Yeah,
think is quite apt, really.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a circular. Say at the top of the Wizard Towers, it's a circular room. It's very large. There are multiple. So there's multiple windows, and there's a small balcony off one of them, overlooking the ocean.
None of the workspaces mean anything to Selly, so she's not going. She's going to let Scribbles look at those, but she's going to go stand on the balcony and sort of look at the ocean and the coast, and then the castle from what I suspect is the highest point in the castle.
Yeah, it's the highest point in the castle. It's a beautiful view. As Scribbles just looks over looks over at like the desk and everything, like he's already planning where to put all of his scribe supplies and wizard supplies. There's already already like bookcases made for like holding scrolls and everything. And he's
Amazing.
yes, and of course a little corner that has like regular bookshelves for like he wants to take some of the books out for like private take some of the books out for like private looking at for his own studies. And then eventually, after the initial hype, he goes over to Sally on the little balcony. Oh wow!
Beauty. She is looking at their castle from up here, and she's not making that noise again, but she is sunglasses worthy bright right now because it's just even more stunning from up here.
Yeah, it Scribbles. Once he knows this, he puts on his sunglasses.
Oh, she is absolutely stoked. It's so big.
So big.
The cool thing about castles, though, is most of them are like around a central courtyard.
Uh-huh.
But you wouldn't think it based on like say the Disney castle, which is a whole bunch of buildings and towers all squished right together. But actual like medieval castles in
Uh-huh.
England and France and Germany tended to be around a courtyard with like big house and bigger size corridors almost between the castle towers. Do you figure that this is probably more like a actual period medieval castle or more like the Disney castle? What do you think?
I think it'd be fun to have a little court, like in the middle of the courtroom that has like somewhat a semi-private garden.
Yeah,
I think
I
that'd be
think so
fun.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. So then from up here, even though it's probably just plain grass at the moment because like no landscaping has been done because it's just built. But you've got this just I don't know how big it would be. Probably because they've got so much in the terms of
Mm-hmm.
floor space in the castle, the actual private garden courtyard bit is probably reasonably small. So like
Oh yeah.
maybe like a quarter acre.
Yeah, like quarter
And I
acre.
say like quarter acre being a regular size house block in Australia, so it's like yeah, that's actually a fairly big space. But given on the scale of the castle, it's not too big.
Yeah.
But they've also got gardens and stuff that they were going to put out outside the perimeter of the wall as well. Given as they've got magic like force fields and shit to protect the castle, they don't actually need the walls to be the main defense. Like no
Yeah,
one's going to be
exactly.
coming at these with trebuchets. It's
Mm-hmm.
not likely to be happening. Mind you, this is still Jewel, who is, for lack of a better phrase, extra as hell. So
Yeah.
So the walls probably are 6 foot deep, you know?
Yeah, but they can be turned on and off like a light switch when needed.
Oh, no, like the actual stonework.
Oh, yeah.
The actual stonework on the exterior walls of a castle could be 6 feet in thickness. Like, this is just stone.
True.
Not singular stone pieces that were that
Yeah.
big, but, like, it's still really big.
Oh, yeah, it is still extremely big.
Special interest unlocked. Castles are just cool as hell.
Oh, yeah, they are so cool. It's amazing, like, how, like, Disney does them, but also how, like, real people done them and everything. It's just, like, it is really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder why they went for that sort of, let's just have all of this fortification built up. Because, like, the only thing I can think of that's similar enough in design to, like, say, the Disney castle is, I don't remember what it's called, but there's this one, but I think it's a whole city as opposed to a singular castle. But it's, like, on this little island or something, and when it's high tide...
Oh, yes. I've seen...
And then when it's low tide, you can walk over there?
Yes,
I don't know what it's called, but, like, that's the one I'm picturing.
I know that cast. I've seen that castle. I just forget what it's called too, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that comes to mind that's a similar, like, look to the Disney castle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they were defensive as opposed to... Well, I mean, they
Aesthetic.
were inherently grandiose. They were inherently grandiose, but, like, not... That wasn't the point. Like, if you had a grandiose looking castle, but it was not defensible, it was a waste of effort and money and time. Yeah, and they didn't even have magic or robots to help them build it.
Yeah.
I may or may not be looking at floor plans for castles while we're...
No, that's fair. We eventually need to list this all out, but I'm glad, again, the semi reason for this FPS. As they tour around, we get an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So the library of this castle, I suppose, because it's sort of a public area, but also kind of part of the Scrambles family, like, personal section, I imagine that the library might be the central part of this castle. So it butts onto the courtyard, which I suppose would be on the Scribbles family side of things, and then you've got all of the entertaining and guest rooms and everything on the other side. And, like, this is going to be at least 3 stories, I suspect.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so definitely the library is more the central area, and a little bit off to one side is the little courtyard, as say on the family side, and the other side you could sort of you could see like the dancing hall and everything, that like the buildings that
the banquet hall and the ballroom and everything. They would take up, like, collectively, those things could take up the same amount of floor space as the library on the other side. So you've got these 2 large spaces on either side of this sort of maybe a central central foyer sort of thing that butts onto the courtyard, and then the other things sort of wrap around it, I suppose. I'm just sort of picturing the shape based on other castle shapes. And that's just assuming that this is built onto a relatively flat piece of land, and knowing Jules, she would have flattened it to make it easier.
Sure. And there are some flourishes on, on the, like, the guest side. Like, there is, like, a semi-balcony, like, mini Disney style that looks like it would lead down to, like, a fountain, and, like, where people could, like, relax and get away for the party scene for a little bit.
Yeah. Goodness, golly gosh, yeah. So after they've sort of been taking in and been overwhelmed by this incredible view from up in the Wizard's Tower, I suppose they go back down, back into the library. And then what else has Jewel got to show them? I mean, like, bedrooms are bedrooms, especially when they've got no furniture in them. And there'll be it's like, I believe that RJ described the Macabre Manor as having something similar to this, where you have your kind of, this is our personal bedrooms and our personal dining room and our personal kitchen. But then all the pomp and ceremony is over there.
Yeah, pretty
So it's
much.
like the private wing is almost like a house in of itself. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. So this is very much the same. So got the big ballrooms. The ballroom would have to have either a tile or a wooden floor. You can't dance on carpet.
No, yeah, for sure. Say probably a tile. I think a tile floor would look really cool, and Jewel would like show them like all the like this is where like yeah, you think the library is very decorated. Look at this ballroom that it just exudes like Disney is a Disney aesthetic where everything is fancy with a chandelier and everything. Say columns.
I'm trying to think whether or not there was anything in the Pokemon anime that was taking place in a ballroom.
Oh, you just had to say that. I think
I mean,
Ent-
I'm
I think Entei did. I think the Unknown movie sort of had something similar because they were in a giant manor. I can't
oh,
remember exactly.
we're going to have to go back and have a look at that one. I didn't remember that. It's been a long time since I've seen the third Pokemon movie. I was sort of thinking of the straight to DVD one that was about Lucario, where like Ash
Yeah,
got to do some dress ups and stuff.
they also had a castle too. I say that's fair. I haven't
Because
seen the Lucario movie in forever either.
I feel like aesthetic wise, they're probably more likely to lean towards those sorts of styles, given as Selly is a Pokemani and neither of them are sort of
Oh yeah,
Disney inspired.
true.
Um,
But that's like the first thing that came to my mind. It's just like it's
I
fancy.
think being in the baseball room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's probably that kind of grandiose,
yeah, very
but it's
grandiose.
not. It's not that Disney. Like you
Yeah,
wouldn't find this ballroom in the Gisnep Castle.
no, not at all.
Um, but Sally is not normally one for like she doesn't dance super much. Like I don't think she's ever danced, to be quite fair. But she does where they showed the ballroom. She does go out into the middle, and she's enjoying the nice little tippy tap sort of sounds that the tiles make, because that's part of the reason why you have tiles in a ballroom. Um, but unlike her old dress, which didn't have an awful lot of swoosh to it, her new dress is a fair bit longer and it does have more volume to it. So she will just go into the center and she just do a little spin as she's sort of looking around at everything. So she does this little swoosh with her skirt in the middle of the ballroom.
And Scribbles comes out to the middle of the ballroom, and he does say reach out a hand. It's like, what do you say? What do you say? Do you want to have the first dance in the ballroom?
Scribbles, I don't know that I know how to dance.
I know the basics. Say I know a little bit of a waltz.
And we don't have any music.
Jewel Jewel smiles as she gives a nod towards Nigel, who is a smiles in himself as he
The
takes out
sound of a cassette player.
he takes out his wizardly book and magic feels the air as like a nice sort of like relaxing waltz music as a suddenly fills the ballroom.
Sally is just giggling now. I don't think Scribbles has ever seen her this giddy.
And Scribbles smiles and he's just like his hair is full pink now. He is so in love. Like there's never not a time he's not in love with Sully, but he's just so happy.
Shall we roll a performance to see how they do?
Yeah. Let's see
Your
if these.
performance isn't dreadful, Sally, so maybe this will go okay.
All right, that's good. Scribbles got a 15 for performance.
And, well, that makes our math really nice. That's a 10 plus 4, so that's a 14. So they're pretty well even Stephens on that.
Yeah, and Scribbles like takes his time as he like shows her how to like say like where their hands go. He takes lead on the dance where he's like forward, back, sideways, and shows her the steps And after a while, they say of her getting it, we just go around in a tiny little circle, and they say they dance, and they say in the ballroom.
Mm, so sweet. I'm picturing that Scribbles dips her at the end and she just breaks into giggles.
Yes, of course he does.
She's now giggling uncontrollably.
And Scribble smiles as he leans down and just starts say peck, giving little kisses on her face.
Stop, let me up.
as he as he undips her, it just looks deeply into her eyes, uh, just just and just enjoying.
He's so in love that you don't have words.
Exactly.
She's gonna lean up and give him a proper kiss as he lets her up. Oh my god, they're over here being so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Golly.
Say Jewel and Jewel and say Jewel say B and Nigel are just watching, and of course they're very much enjoying this too. It's like they're happy that she's happy and they are happy.
Aww.
Yeah.
Gosh. What other rooms could they look at?
Say say though, like sort of like round out like she say Jewel like shows them like the not say guest kitchen but more like the formal dining kitchen where like it's an actual professional kitchen for people like to make large
commercial
meals.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a feast cook, and every time that we pick a venue, we have to try and figure out how to work around the kitchen. So many of our venues for feasts are just in scout halls, and scout halls notoriously don't have great kitchens historically. Some of them we've had that have literally been in a cupboard.
Wow.
So, yeah. But when we get to use a full-on proper commercial kitchen, oh, it's so good. My favorite had a proper commercial dishwasher, which is the kind where you've got like the dishes go into a pallet and you slide the pallet under and it's got the big box and you pull the handle down and it
goes yeah. I've been in a semi-professional say like professional kitchen. It's just like our bakery had like its own kitchen, and like it was very professional in a way. It's just like it was really nice. I know that the newer
I think that's my favorite kitchen that I've ever cooked in.
Nice.
Was very good.
Yeah, I know that one bakery expanded to like a larger like restaurant that has a proper kitchen. I never got to saw that kitchen, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so good. And like Selli won't be cooking any feasts in here, but that's what caterers are for. You go, hey, please can you come to my house and cook a feast for my friends? Here is the kitchen. Here is your budget. Go nuts.
Exactly.
And any professional caterer would look at this kitchen and go, yes! As opposed to going, okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of room on the main floor. There is a walk-in freezer and plenty of racks to like put like different bakery and or like food that can be go out into the main hall. It's just like everything.
Ovens at chest height. Ovens at chest height.
Yes. Yeah.
People can tell where my interests lay and the kind of things that I do when I'm not doing D&D. This is not so much an FPS as it is a Whis and Winona complain about non-commercial kitchens and gush about castles.
Exactly.
It's a thing. This is like what was the phrase someone used yesterday? A category 10 autism moment. There we go. That was fun.
Yes. Yeah. And I also assume, because I've sort of seen this kind of in castles, kind of in rich people places, where there is a side entrance for like guests. Like if people are coming to a party and like dropping, like limos are dropping people off, there's like there's a quote main entrance for like them dropping off people for the gala and everything.
And then a private entrance for the people who actually live there.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like in this particular case, they probably wouldn't have a servants' quarters because, well, they don't at the moment have any servants unless Jewel was going to leave some of the automatons here. But
She's gonna leave some of them there just to help them unpack. But Scribbles is working with Jewel to make unseen servants like throughout the castle.
oh, okay, permanent unseen servants,
Yeah.
invisible magic Roombas.
Yes.
Which for a building this big, you will absolutely need because it's going to be like the biggest castle in the history of castles if we compared it to modern, like not modern, like mundane,
Yeah.
actual real world castles. And you had to have an army of people to keep those things clean. And they didn't have magic or modern cleaning stuff. So you needed people with like lots and lots of people with brush and broom and mop and cloth in order to keep everything clean.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't need that. So we probably don't need a servants.
Yeah.
But the grand entrance that leads into that main foyer, and then like a private entrance around the side.
Yeah.
So like I mean, like there's absolutely nothing stopping the Scrambles family coming in through the big front door, and in fact, at least the very first couple of times, they probably will. Because
Look,
how cool is that to throw open those big doors and go, I live in a goddamned castle.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck.
Exactly.
I know that's what I would do.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, it's probably faster to just go a little bit around the side and go in through the private entrance to be able to get more directly to the private quarters. Quarter. And it's probably, you know those cat food bowls that you like link up to the cat's microchip, so it will stay closed until the cat's microchip comes close, and then it will open. I figure that the private door is probably like that. Like there's some sort of magical symbol or something that will recognize Selli, Scribble, Scratch, and Marigold, and so it will just open on arrival without the castle needing to be a genius locus.
Look. Yeah. But we can talk about that later. Eventually.
Like I'm sure there is well, maybe.
We'll see. But yeah, I do agree there is probably something magical that like that was he's like, yeah, we can totally detect like you are the people that are registered to come in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Which also makes it more defensible because then like if the door is like may as well be a wall.
Yeah,
unless you are one of those 4 people, then the only place that you can try and bust in is through the big main door. Which is where Selli is going to move all of those imposing suits of armor to, because she's not keen on it being so close to the library. She's like, well, if it's security, I want the security near the door, where the security breaches are most likely to
Fair. Hee. But I could see them like moving on to like the private quarters where they say they go to the more modest, nice kitchen. Like it's still a big kitchen, but it's a modest size. It has an island to it. There are like ovens that say they're large ovens. Is a large pantry, and also
the kind of kitchen that would do a family of 5 to 10 as opposed to 10 to 50 people.
Exactly.
Which means there's enough room that Marigold can cook in here.
Yeah, Marigold and Scratch can cook in here. What trouble and or mess will they make? We'll see.
Oh, they can make them breakfast in bed for like Father's Day and Mother's Day.
Oh,
how cute would that be?
I can also see like family friend guests like use this kitchen for us just like say I don't need an industrial sized kitchen, I just need something regular.
when Rye and Lynn come over and it's like Rye's like, right, let me at it.
Literally, literally in the last FPS, Lynn just gave them a giant thing of chili that will last them for 3 days.
That sounds like Lynn, 100%. And Rye is learning from the best in all manners of things, so he would do exactly the same.
Yeah. I can also see, like, the kitchen is also connected to, like, a little, not dining area, but a place where there's a table there, specifically for, like, eating dinners there. Say a family little dinner place, you know?
I think that still counts as a dining room.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh gosh, I think as they move through their wing of
Mm-hmm.
the castle, like seeing their kitchen, their dining room, their lounge room, like I imagine that they have um, a lounge room that still has some fairly sizable bookcases, but they're going to be for the things that they read all the time. It's like their
Mm-hmm.
favorite books would be here, or maybe they'd have their favorite books that they have kept, but then they have a copy of their favorite book in the library. That
Indeed.
sounds like the kind of thing they would do.
Oh, yeah,
They're not
for
worried
sure.
about duplicates because they've got enough room to do it. Um,
Exactly.
but like they've got, the comfy couches, the TV, like maybe it's open plan, so you've got the
Yeah.
kitchen and then you've got a non-carpeted area where the dining table could go that's sort of attached to the kitchen-ish,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it moves into either like it's got we could put rugs down or it's carpeted.
Yeah.
Unsure, we can decide, but like where you'd put couches and bookcases might even be built-in bookcases.
Yeah. A little
And
fireplace there, too. Just a little living.
yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Hee.
But yes, Sally's looking through this and then looking through the bedroom, and um, I'm going to roll her a perception.
Alright.
Actually, that's not great, Miss. That's really not great. Your perceiving is actually kind of terrible. That is a whole ass fuck. Um, Never mind. So she's just looking through. She looks at their kitchen, their dining room, their lounge room,
Can I?
and there's a hall with their bedrooms, and she's just, I think at this point she's just overwhelmed. Like the whelm quantity is super high right now, so she's
Fair.
not really processing anything. She's just like, my house is so nice. Ah.
Can I roll a perception and see if I can see? Scribbles can see?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, that's slightly better at a. That's slightly better. Oh, they're
How
all.
slightly?
They're both overwhelmed. But that's gonna be a 13.
13. That's above a 10, so that'll do the job. So Sally's not really taking as much of this in this first viewing as otherwise. But Scribbles, when you're looking through, you've seen the kitchen, you've seen the lounge, the dining room. There is a laundry, there is a balcony, and the hall with bedrooms. And there are 6 bedrooms. So there's extras.
Scribble smiles. Look, they say, look, Selly. We got some extra bedrooms in here.
Oh, well, I suppose it would be a shame to have them be so far away in the guest bedrooms. They'd make excellent guest bedrooms to keep our friends close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to roll an insight?
Yes, I can. Alright, that's going to be a 12. Oh, jeez.
12. I think that'd be enough. She's not trying to hide it, and I don't think she really realizes it, but the other reason why Jewel and Faber and Yon, who I imagine they would have consulted as well
Oh, yes.
in all of this, why they may have put in 3 extra bedrooms. Because, like, obviously, Selly and Scribbles will be sharing one.
Yes.
And initially, Marigold and Scratch may want to share one, or they may want their own bedroom. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But that's only 2 to 3 bedrooms, and there are 6. The other reason why they may need extra bedrooms in the private wing has not in the slightest occurred to Selly at this stage.
And Scribbles realizes this, and he gives a little smile, and he's just like, they also could be for maybe some, well, some future family, maybe future kids. Gives her a kiss.
Whis save.
Please tell me that's a nat one.
That is a natural one!
Does she just faint?
She doesn't faint. I'm not about that. But she has just sort of frozen. Like, she's still glowing. But that's because she's still in that sort of euphoria sort of stage. So it's not going to actually stop. But it's like the she's been paused. I guess is the bit like her she has stopped rotating through frames. She has stopped. She is blushing. Like, even when you proposed, she didn't blush this much. She is like, oh. She has no words. She's just standing there. It's like, you know.
Oh, Scribbles is just gonna smile and hug her. It's just like, oh, I love you so much.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a natural one. I can't even break out of this for a little while. She's just like, is that an option? Yeah. Shit, that's an option.
Yes, you can hear it's a Jewel chuckling. He's got it. Say, you never know. Say what happens in the future, but rather be prepared than not. Though if you have more than that, I don't know what to tell you guys. I will build out the wing more if need be, but take it easy for a while.
I think the best Selli's got, because that was a nat one, is a sort of a flustered, sort of soft splutter sort of noise. I don't think she's got it in her to do anything else. She's just they built so many extra bedrooms. Can we even have children, let alone that many?
We got plans just in case.
But she's not wrong. Like, they will make excellent guest bedrooms, so if, for example, Lynn and Rye wanted to stay over, they'd want them closer rather than on the other arse end of the castle. And in the future, which has already happened, after Rescue the Kids, you know, Missy and Joy and Mad Lad and everyone who's staying over in the interim will be at the other end of the castle. They're not going to have them up in the private quarters. They don't know them well enough. But other people, sure, they could have them here. Or they could have them as studies for some reason if they wanted to have them here rather than down in the library or whatever. Rooms are great. You can tell that I've just bought a house with more bedrooms and rooms than the one that I'm currently living in because it's the same kind of enthusiasm I've got for my new house.
Look,
for that point.
No, I understand. I feel the same. Just because I also got a new house, so honestly, this is just both of us stimming.
This has been less of an FPS and more we verbally stim and design a castle. The game!
Look, this is definitely an FPS, but it's also us working through our processes. It could be both.
The live stream of consciousness coming out. Is there anything else that we want them to look at before we wrap up for the day?
I could see them like looking them outside in the outside gardens for a little bit. Them possibly thinking like, yeah, it's barren now, but like we could do this, we could put this there. Say it'll be really nice. But I can sort of see us like other than that, like that Jewel just letting them go and just enjoying them the view of the beach. Letting them have a moment first before they talk like, okay, I'm going to show you the inner guts of this place later, which is all underground. But enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the secret squirrel stuff.
Yeah. Secret squirrel stuff where all the control panels are, secret labs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. It's a maze underneath there, but for good reason.
Yeah. Only other thing I can think of off the top of my head that they would definitely have in this castle that Jewel would point out to them, is because they've got the courtyard, which will be made into a very nice garden. But then they've got the garden on the outside facing that's in between the castle and the ocean.
Yep.
And because this castle is built on a cliff, in order to get down to the beach, there has been built from the garden, the exterior garden, there is a staircase straight down to the beach.
Yeah.
And it's a good beach too.
It's a good beach. It's indeed a good beach. Yeah.
Probably a nicer staircase than the one that is at the real life beach that this area is based off of.
That's fair.
That one's probably a bit steep and would be really hard for Marigold to go up and down. So slightly less steep, maybe goes down the cliff in a little bit more of an angle, but otherwise...
Yeah, a little bit more cliff, a little bit more angle, so, like, no matter who it is, they can go down there, safely and comfortably.
Yeah. Yes, the real-life equivalent was not built with giant centaurs in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the only other thing I can think of at this point. And I kind of picture Selli and Scribbles doing kind of what we're planning on doing when we move to our new place. It's empty. It's got no furniture in it whatsoever, which, apart from, like, the bookcases in the library, which can be quite intimidating at first. Like, when I first moved into this place and it had no furniture, it heckin' echoed.
Oh, yeah,
and,
for sure.
It's not even very big, but it echoes without furniture, and there's always that, oh shit, have I made a mistake? This is so big, kind of thing. But I kind of picture them sitting on their private balcony, looking out over the ocean as the sun is starting to set.
Yes.
And maybe they've brought a little picnic basket with them or something, having their first little dinner. Like one of the few, once the kids move in, one of the few that they'll have strictly to themselves. And for a while, because there's going to be guests in this castle in short order, but their first dinner together, alone in the castle, just a little picnic, sitting on the balcony, looking at the sunset. With a little chink of wine glasses as we fade to black. Indeed. I think that would be sweet.
I think that would be really sweet. Yes. So sweet, so adorable.
Oh my. Well, this has been fun. Thank you so much for this, Nona.
Oh, no problem. I loved every moment of this.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to our live stream of consciousness as it comes to us, as we describe the Scrambles family castle, which we should come up with a really funky name for.
We should. We can figure that out when we also work on some of the floor plans.
And design the stained glass window in the library. I'm excited to do that. But thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you at the next thing.
Bye.